one is facing issues. 5, we are going to support our colleagues, friends, and families in maintaining mental wellness. We are going to be the advocates for mental health. I will start with the introduction to mental health and psychological well-being. I wrote so many things here. So, mental health encompasses emotional, psychological, and social well-being. When we talk of emotional, we meant the feelings and all that, psychological, the mind, and social well-being, how we interact with people in our environment. I tried to differentiate mental health, mental illnesses, and mental well being. So, mental illness is a diagnosed condition that significantly interfere with a person's cognitive, emotional, or social abilities. So, mental illness is whereby you're not able to think well, emotionally, you're not fine, and socially, you're not able to interact well with people in our environments. Mental well-being is the positive aspect. It focuses on the ability to cope with life stresses. You realize your potential, learn, work well, and contribute to the better of the community. I had picked this from the definition from World Health Organization. We talk so much about mental health, but why is mental health important?
Yeah,
Mental health,
sorry for cutting you. Hello? Yeah, try to move your slide. Your slide is
I'm
stopping at
moving very fast.
no the slide. You try to move the slide so that we can see the next slide or third slide like that.
We are still on the first slide.
Okay.
Can you? Yes. So I was saying we talk so much about mental health and sometimes you might not know the importance. So I mentioned five importance of mental health. One is coping with stress. When you're able to be mentally okay, when you're able to know what is wrong, what is right, you're able to contribute to the society, you'll be able to cope up with stress. Some minor things won't stress you out. Mental health is crucial for relationships. When you're mentally okay, you're able to balance and you're able to know and handle relationships and other issues in relationships. Mental health is crucial for productivity, be it at work, at home, or wherever we are. Mental health is important for community contribution. We had mentioned that it contributes to the better of the community or society. So when you're mentally okay, you're able to contribute to the community and you're able to do something good for the community. Mental health is important for our physical health.
Sorry, Ross, just a moment.
Yes,
Your
Carla.
slide is stuck at the introduction.
Yes, I'm still at the introduction.
Ah, okay,
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So I'm going to the next slide now. Can you see my second slide?
Not yet.
Understanding mental health challenges. You can see that?
No,
Wow.
we're only seeing the introduction. Yeah, now we can see that.
Okay. I'm trying to put it in slide. Is this okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. So we are going to understand mental health challenges. And one of the challenges surrounding mental health is anger. I've defined it here as feelings of annoyance. And we all know what anger is in layman's language. And the other thing surrounding mental health is depression. Um, how are you able to know that someone is depressed? I have come up with this abbreviation and it is commonly used as SIGA caps. The first S stands for extreme sadness. When someone is extremely sad, you're able to identify that the person is depressed or have a feeling of depression. I stands for loss of interest. You're able to identify that someone is depressed when they don't have interest in what they usually do in their daily activities. G stands for feeling of guilt. E stands for low energy. C stands for low concentration. You're not able to concentrate, be it in school, at work, even when you're talking to someone at home. A stands for low or high appetite. Eating too much is also an issue. It could be depression, and eating low as well. P stands for psychomotor retardation. Retardation, it could be retardation or agitation. It's a scientific term. It's basically restlessness. They said it's accompanied by talking quickly, like you're absent-minded and all that. S is suicidal attempt or sleep disturbance. You're thinking of suicide, you're not able to sleep well at night, and all that. The third challenge surrounding mental health is anxiety. And I've mentioned anxiety is basically you worry too much or you're always nervous. The fourth is loneliness. You like being alone, you don't like being around other people. We have phobias. Phobias are uncontrollable. It's basically lasting fear of a certain object, situation, or activity. Um, I'm sure we are familiar with these phobias. People have phobia for water, people have phobia for heights, and all other phobias. We have eating problems. It's also a mental health challenge. Eating too much or not eating totally. What are the signs and symptoms to watch for surrounding mental health? One is emotional changes. One thing you should watch out for emotionally, helplessness, I mean hopelessness. When someone is feeling hopeless, when you yourself or someone around you is feeling hopeless, you should always watch out for that sign. Sadness, anxiety, fear, and also feeling overwhelmed. Second is behavioral changes, i.e., interest. I've spoken about interest, concentration, social withdrawal. People don't, the person decides not to be around other people just suddenly like that. So you should always watch out for that. Drugs, people start taking drugs and all that. Alcohol, it's also another thing that we should watch out for. What is that self care and resilience building that you should develop? One is physical health. We should always take care of our physical health. We should do exercise regularly. We should do meditation or deep breathing. Deep breathing is important, especially when you're angry at someone or things are not going the way they are supposed to be. So you just take a deep breath and then you see, definitely you will see a change. Uh, Setting goals and priorities. They have taught us so much on goal setting. It's important so that at the end of the day, we don't get mental health challenges because we are not able to achieve something that we had actually not planned for. And then you become stressed and all that. Gratitude and positivism. Gratitude is very important. You should be grateful each and every time. And this, you could basically have a notebook, but at the end of the day, you can just write what you're grateful for. You should seek for help. Talk to someone. There is always someone out there that is ready to help you out from what you're facing, and they are always available. Just maybe an example, the Mental Health Society South Sudan, they are always there for help whenever you need that. How do you cope up with stress and anxiety? What are the strategies that you should use when you're stressed or when you have anxiety? One, regular exercise. You should always do exercise. People think that exercise is it's always for people who are oppressed or something. I don't know. It's just a mentality, I think. So you should do exercise no matter your body size. Healthy eating. You should always avoid eating junk food. They are always not good for our health. So you should eat healthy. Um, Time management. You should always learn to manage time, whether for schoolwork or work or even doing house chores. When you're able to manage your time well, you're able to reduce the stress. For example, if you've given an assignment at school or at work that you should do that, do not postpone. So manage your time well, and at the end of the day you'll find out that you're not actually stressed. You should always have enough sleep. Do not sleep late hours. Sleep is very important. When you sleep and then you wake up early, you're able to have that fresh mind, and you're able to be productive throughout the day. You should always have hobbies. What do you like the most? They always say an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So instead of just being idle and thinking of doing other things like drugs, alcohol, and all those other bad things, you should always have something to do. For example, reading novels, watching anything productive that can make you, yani, reduce your stress and all that. You should always learn to take breaks, even if at school or at home. Breaks are important for our brain. I will emphasize we should always seek professional help. When you think that all these or all the other options that you have tried are not working, you should seek professional help from people that you know that can help you. Building a personal well-being plan. Uh, these things are all related with what I had said. Doing exercise, you eat diet, take breaks, develop a sleep routine, know when to sleep, when to wake up, and how many hours do you need for sleep so that you're able to be productive the next day. Take time out to do what you love. I've spoken about hobbies and many others. I think I've come to the end of my presentation. That was so fast. I didn't realize. So, if there are any questions, um, you're all welcome. And if I've been so fast, please, you let me know. Thank you so much. Any questions? Oh, you're all okay.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, how are you doing? Hope we are all doing
Oh,
okay.
I'm personally okay. Thank you.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
I was not able to speak from the beginning because I was on the way moving and I could not be able to speak clearly.
It's okay. Thank you
So,
so much.
concerning what you have presented, you have really presented a good topic, which most of us, even I may think, as who are in this fellowship, or those or others who are outside, they have been going through what you have been presenting. But one thing is, we don't know where to take the problem to. It is really very challenging in South Sudan. For example, like for men, they always say men don't speak out their problems. They always keep it inside them. And one thing is that our people who we are staying with, they may not know exactly what you're going through because they don't have knowledge on that topic. You might have been going through a lot of stress and a lot of things, but they don't know about that, and they have nobody to speak to. Had it to be that they know that these are some of the I think the issues of suicide and whatever there would have been a lesson in South Sudan. But because the people we are staying with, they don't know exactly when their friend is going through something, their brother is going through hard time, even their husband or their wife is going through hard time, which become very hard for us in South Sudan. So this is a good initiative whereby we who are here, we have to be as people who will take the information out to enlighten our communities, beginning from home where you are from. People have to know. And you, even as an individual who have been trained, you have to be able to analyze that my so and so is having these problems. Let me speak to him. Because if you don't speak to him and he's always keeping quiet there, you may not know what is going through his mind. At the end of the day, he will do things that you people even don't believe that he have done. So I say thank you for this presentation, and we really have to try and learn from here and take the message from here so that we should be able to teach the community outside there. Thank you very much. That is what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback. Thank you. Mien, are you asking if I can repeat myself again? Like the whole presentation or a specific part? Okay. Uh, um, so Mien, you asked me to repeat. So I think I'm going to be a little bit faster as well. So basically, we are talking about mental health. And when we talk about mental health, we talk about the emotional, the psychological, and also our social well being. So, mental health is very important for our day to day activities and how we relate with others, how we cope with stress, how we would contribute to the community or society when we have that right mind, we're able to think well, we're able to act well. So, mental health challenges could be anger. I've talking about anger. I said anger is feelings of annoyance, and we all know what anger is. Depression. These are the symptoms of depression. I I was saying S is um, extreme sadness, I is loss of interest, G is feeling of guilt, E is low energy, C is lack of concentration, A is high or low appetite, B is psychomotor agitation or retardation, S is suicidal thoughts or sleep disturbance. We also spoke about anxiety, which is worry or nervousness, loneliness. We spoke about phobias and eating problems, mostly surrounding eating too much or too little. What are the signs and symptoms to watch for surrounding the mental health challenges? One is the emotional changes. How are you able to know that that person might be suffering from mental health issues? Would identify that from their emotional changes. One is feeling of hopelessness. Two, sadness, feeling of anxiety, fear, or overwhelm. Secondly, it could be behavioral changes whereby they are not able to have enough interest in doing what they usually like doing or what they are supposed to do. There is low concentration. You talk to them, they are not focusing on what you're saying. There is social withdrawal. They are not able to interact with other people or be with other group of youths that they usually be with. We also spoke about the issue of drugs and alcohol. So these are the signs and symptoms that we should watch for be it your family, your friend, or any other person that you interact with. We spoke about the self-care and resilience building. So how are you able to take care of yourself, you personally, or how are you able to tell someone out there on self-care and resilience building? One is advising yourself or advising them to do physical exercise for their physical health. Two is deep breathing or meditation. Three is setting goals and priorities. Four is gratitude. Five is seeking help. They should always talk to someone. They say problem so problem said is half solved, something like that. So you should always be able to talk to someone out there. What are the coping strategies for stress and anxiety? Since these are the two things that disturb us, which is the stress and anxiety, how are you able to cope up with stress? One is regular exercise. You should always do regular exercises. Two is healthy eating, time management, enough sleep, having hobbies, taking breaks, and seeking professional help. Building a personal well-being plan.
Uh,
You
Hello, Rose. Sorry,
Yes.
sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
The screen is not moving, so you are not seeing what you are
Oh,
presenting. Yeah.
where where has it stopped? What's
Now we are still introduction. The screen is showing introduction to mental health.
wow, sorry. Can you see it well now?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Building a personal well-being plan, right?
Oh, now it's learning objectives.
Sorry. How about this?
Coping strategies.
Okay. So, uh, I was talking about coping strategies for stress and anxiety. One is regular exercise. Two, healthy eating. Time management. Having enough sleep. Have hobbies. Take breaks and seeking professional help. You able to build a person? How are you able to help someone out there that could be facing some issues with mental health? surrounding mental health. One is do sleep routine. You should always have that time that from this time I'm going to sleep and from this time I'm going to wake up. You should take break. You should take time out to do what you love. We spoke about hobbies. So yes. I think I've been clear now, Mien. All right.
Dr. Laura,
Yes, please.
hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Samuel. How are you?
I'm fine. Have a blessed day. And
Thank
very
you.
well. It was a wonderful presentation, by the way. I've been following, but the network was somehow unstable. So, with this presentation, I don't know if it was me alone. Like, I could only see one slide for a moment, and like I was on slide three, but I could actually hear you. Like, you were audible enough, so I catch up with everything you said. I would like to inquire something. This really session is really important today, and it's one of more criteria things that as a human being, because it's all based in our life. Like for us to be a human being, it depends on how our mental health issues are. You know. So I was once told, like, by a teacher, like he was actually teaching, and then he was like, "We humans, we are all mad." So he mentioned that. And I was like, "Sir, how are we mad?" He was like, like everybody's mad, but only the degrees of madness is different. Like we all varies, so our degrees of madness is different, but we are all mad. So when he emphasized on that, I begin to know like maybe it could be referring it, to how people act sometimes when they overcome their emotions, like on how they act after being, depressed or you know. So, like, what I'm trying to ask, sometimes there are those who might have mental issues, like they be taken, like, totally, someone will be mad for good. I don't know if, like, for a mad person again, maybe to go through psychological help and mental kinds of issues help. I don't know, can it come back to its normal senses again after maybe being mad, you know, facing this mental illness?
Okay. Thank you so much, Samuel. I believe someone who has been mad can be well. I've heard of rehabilitation centers that help people who are mad or people who are addictive. I don't know of any rehabilitation center here in Juba or South Sudan, but rehabilitation centers work out and these people really be fine after a period that they have been in the rehabilitation centers. I hope I helped with your answer. I mean, with your question.
Uh, yeah, so I asked that question so because I've seen a lot of mad people and been taken to rehabilitation as stated, but I don't know how like and those who are really totally mad, like collecting in the garbage space, and being taken to rehabilitation. I don't know how long it takes, or maybe like they get back to normal, like as they were. So that's why I asked the question because I've never seen maybe such thing.
Okay.
I thought maybe they're just only isolated, like taken to be isolated from the people because sometimes you know how mad people sometimes you might act. So,
When you're in the rehabilitation center, it really needs patience. It's not a one-day thing. This thing takes years from the stories we hear from people who have been there. So it's you having the patience, you being ready to actually leave what you're doing and you want to be fine. So it's a two-way thing. You accept to be fine, and then the rehab also helps you. So it's a process. It's not a one day thing. I hope that was okay, Samuel.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Yes, Guy, your virtual hand is up.
Hi, Rose. Happy birthday.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to have some clarification on something. I know mental health and psychological well-being has become something that has okay. Everybody is going through some mental disturbance at some point, but I needed to know like the moments you feel like okay, you feel like you mentally disturbed over unnecessary things. You cannot define what is disturbing you. You find yourself depressed or you traumatized at some point for some things, but you can't really define what could be the issue or differentiate either you are traumatized or you feeling you feeling anxiety or depressed at some point or stressed. I needed to know like how can one be able to maybe differentiate some things at some point and getting to know what could be the issue of what you're going through, and maybe differentiating it at some point so that you can be able to find a solution to what you're going through, because this is something that I've been going through. At times I feel like maybe I'm stressed or or I am even depressed or it's just anxiety or traumatized, but I can't really really feel like I don't really know what am I going through at some point for me to come up with a concrete solution to what I'm really going through. So I just needed to have a clear information on that so that I know my mental health at some point is at risk because of one, two, three, so that I can be able to cope up and find a clear solutions to what I'm going through. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Uh, we have uh, we have mentioned the symptoms and the signs that you would know that maybe you're depressed or you're stressed over something. So, for example, if you're thinking of suicidal thoughts, you're not able to focus, you don't have the appetite, and personally you know that there is something, stress does not just come like that. There must be something that has triggered your mental health. Maybe exams are coming and then you're overthinking about it and then it stresses you. So there are always those factors that contribute to our mental health. So as the symptoms I've mentioned, that you'll know that you're stressed, you should always watch out for those early signs that I have mentioned. You don't have interest, you're not concentrating and all that. I would assume that you're depressed, because those are the signs and symptoms of depression. And you should always seek help. You should always talk to someone. There are always people out there. You should always have that one person that you're able to talk to that would help you. I I hope I helped you.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Marley has a question here. Can you please use the mic, Marley? I'm not able to understand the question well.
Have you answered the other questions that are in the chat box?
I'm seeing the one of Marley.
There's one from Ian. He was asking, can poverty cause mental illness and suicide?
I believe it's a factor. Yes, it does. Remember, you're not able to afford the basic needs that you want. So people think that suicide is actually the final solution. So yes, poverty does.
Yes, but me and we need to work hard. We need to fight poverty. Yeah, make sure that yeah, you're always doing something, at least, because mostly also poverty is partly contributed to things like laziness somehow. But then if you are really somebody who is going for what you want and you're very intentional about certain things, I'm sure we cannot be too poor. Of course, you can at least be able to afford basic needs that you need: shelter, food, clean water, and also medical attention. And then the other question is from yeah, just leave your screen share. At least it enhances the live stream. And then the question for Marley, he's asking, he's saying that I've been dealing with these issues. These issues, he means mental health and psychological well-being related matters for a long time, but I am finally implementing the strategies you recommended. This is a statement from him. Because I received mental health and psychosocial support training at my previous job, I may be able to move on from the current situation in which I am dealing with stress, depression, and ideas of suicide. So he's saying that means he's been having mental health and psychological struggles. And then, of course, he's trying his best to implement the strategies that you have shared through this training. But then that means he's at the crossroads. He's saying that he may be able to move on from the current situation in which he is dealing with stress, depression, and ideas of committing suicide. So his question is, does he need help from a professional at this point in time?
Uh, yes, Marley, thank you for also taking the initiative to actually implement what you have learned. I think that's a great step in overcoming stress, depression, and all other things surrounding mental health. And I would say, yes, you still need help. You need someone to talk to and to add on what you have learned. And maybe you would actually let them know what the real issue is that is making you to think of suicide, or what is really stressing you, so that they're able to give you the right solution to the problem that you're facing. So yeah, you need professional help.
Yeah, and maybe you can just give him some recommendations, a bit of probably if you can get him in touch with someone at the Mental Health Society, or or uh, or any other person within your network with whom he can reach out to, and some of the strategies that or some places, some spaces where he can get some of this support, if you can.
Sure, I will try my best.
Okay, then. Thank you. Uh, yes, so that is the last question that I see from the presentation. Yeah, so yes, somebody is asking that, do you have a recommendation for a therapist that is a kid guy?
I will try and find out.
Yeah, and also, yes, and also maybe you can just discuss some of these issues with Mawa, and then see how probably build a database around possible recommendations, because these are always questions that you will get, especially as you talk to people about mental health and psychological well-being. So I think at the Mental Health Society, it's important to put some of these things in place, especially possible spaces where these kind of people can network and things of that sort. Very helpful. And I see someone's hand was up. Someone had put up the hand.
That was my end.
Yes, yes, Callisto.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy birthday to Roast.
Thank you. You're welcome,
Yeah.
Khalid.
Thank you for the presentation on this topic. And I have got a question to ask, to put across. Like they say, there are like pillars, of mental health, and one of them is physical health.
if we look at this mental health, it is, closely related even to some of the things we have talked about so far, including the emotional intelligence. Now, I would like to know how, physical exercise really contributes to sound mental health of a human being. For instance, if I am somebody who does not regularly exercise, do physical exercise, does it mean like I'm not health mentally? I would like something to be said on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Callisto. Physical health is physical exercise is a recommendation. I would personally give a testimony. There was a time I was so stressed in school, exams were near and all that. So I decided to jog around. We have this pitch at school, so I decided to jog around and all that. So I became better after sweating. Even that one lap would help. So maybe because I also believed that physical health is important, especially physical exercise is important, especially when you run around and do all other exercise. It will help in your thinking and all that. So yes, I believe physical exercise is important for your mental health.
Okay, thank you, Prost.
Yeah, Callisto, I think you really need to do exercise. It's very important. And then you need to like walk. There's some distances that you really need to walk. Like there was a time when I think when this court case for Riek Machari started, and and someone was saying that it was the first time for him to walk from Custom to Alabara. I said, what? This distance is very close. Why wouldn't someone walk from Custom to Alabara? Right? So sometimes if you are not in a hurry, like in the evening when the sun is not too hot, or early morning when the sun is not very hot, you can walk to some distances that are walkable. You can walk. Sometimes people feel that because a taxi is less, or because if they have a means of transport that actually takes them to where they're supposed to go, they don't want to walk. But actually these exercises which do not need you to do like hard things like lifting things in the gym. If you don't have time for those things like going to the gym to lift things, you can do simple exercises like walking, or even within your room. If you go to YouTube, there are some videos that then gives you how to do exercises within your room. Even sometimes on your bed, like when you wake up, you can like uh, you can play around with your leg like a baby. You know how these babies are, like when they wake up, they play around with their legs while on bed, or you can do your hands like this just when you wake up in the morning, or indoors within, if you have enough space within your rakuba or within your house where you sleep, you can actually do those. There are some basic videos. And then also there are some groups that actually do this exercise. Even your compound, your home compound, if it has some space, yeah, you can do like for men, you can do some bit of push-ups and stuff. And then sometimes like for those of for people who stay with other people, you can even do massages, like good massages. They can a bit of help in even they can work well as a stress relievers, especially if they are done very well. And sometimes you can even play around with your fingers, things like that. So these are very simple things that that look very complicated, but they're actually good. And sometimes even when you're walking, you get to think really like a genius. Sometimes when you walk, you get to have a lot of amazing ideas that actually come to your mind. And 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 then when you just go down, you say, okay, I had thought about this, and then you get to jot down in your notepad or in your notebook. So very simple things, but they are very important. So yes, it is very important for you to do exercises. If you're not doing exercises already, Callisto, you need to start thinking about that. Very important, within your room, on your bed, within your compound. or even walking by going. You can walk to school or walk to work and then walk back home. Things like that is very important. You can use like transport when you are late or when you have emergencies or long distances that you cannot walk. Very important. Uh, I see another question again from Mien. Mien is saying that in addition, religious affairs or belief can it cause psychological or mental illness? Because I have seen others become not normal whenever they join the particular religion, either Muslim or Christian. Simply like, can religion cause mental illness? This is Mien is asking you, Ross.
Uh, I'm not sure, but then when you're being taught something, remember you put it in your mind. So when you focus on that thing so much, I think it will affect your mental well-being as well. Remember, it deals with the brain. So whatever thing that they are taught in their churches, I think it will also affect them. So I wouldn't say it's really mental illness, but how they act, it's how they are taught.
It's
I
funny,
think
yes, yes, yes. And by the way, I think he somehow has a point because I've seen like people who drop from the seminary. Like let's say people who want to become like this Catholic priest, for example, and they go to the seminary and some of them drop. And like many of them who drop, like they don't act normal, like you said. Like they have missed calls or something like that. It's sort of crazy. But somebody was telling me it's it's so it's somehow related to what this gentleman is asking. Yes, Brenda, your hand is up.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. So, I just wanted to make a comment on the issue of religion, and I think religion is just like any other thing that is out there, has a way of negatively influencing us, and that can potentially contribute to our mental health. Religions that are overly rigid, they're very judgmental, and their teachings are basically about creating the feelings of shame, feelings of guilt, fear, or divine punishment and all that. This kind of teaching have the potential to lead to some level of anxiety and low self-esteem, and that can affect your mental health. And also in terms of stigmatization, in some communities, mental health illness is seen as a lack of faith, or it is a spiritual kind of thing. And this kind of stigma can prevent people from seeking professional help, you know. So the churches are supposed to be like a foundation where you're supposed to find peace, reflection, and just some level of mental or emotional support. Yeah, a place like that. But sometimes we find ourselves in places that are churches, but they don't support us well enough. And you don't need to stay there. You don't need to stay there because you're not supposed to be in a place that is negative. You're supposed to be in a place where positivity is constantly emphasized. And churches are not supposed to tell you that you're the worst person ever, or any other thing that is contrary that can easily make you to feel anxious and also start doubting yourself and all that. So yes, churches have the potential to influence you negatively, and that can impact your mental health greatly. Thank you.
And I see Garang is asking that how do I recognize when I'm mentally overwhelmed or stressed? I think you can review for him that acronym. I think those acronyms are the major signs, right?
yes,
Yeah,
there are
maybe.
many signs that surround depression and may
Yeah.
be stressed as well. The acronym is SIGA caps is SIGE A, P, and S. S is the first S is extreme sadness. I is loss of interest or isolation. G is feeling of guilt. E is low energy. C is low concentration. A is low or high appetite. P is psychomotor retardation, which is restlessness. S is sleep disturbance or suicidal attempt. So when you have these symptoms, you're able to identify that you're stressed or you are depressed.
Yeah, so Garang, if you are not sleeping enough, if you find yourself waking up at 4 a.m., you need to you need to check yourself very well. If you see that you are angry anyhow, sometimes without proper reasons, you need to check yourself. And that one is what? If you eat too much or if you eat less, yeah. So those are the things. I think these are basic things that you can actually know. I hope your question is answered. What coping strategies can help feel better during tough times? He's asking Ross.
I would recommend talking to someone. It will help you.
Yeah, so
If
Garang, if anytime, yes, you are saying something,
So
Ross.
I can talk to anyone,
no,
or like
someone that
like a girlfriend or
yes, if your
because we
girlfriend
put it generally.
okay, if your girlfriend can help you, then that's okay. Basically, talk to somebody that you know
Okay,
that.
what if she is the one who met you, who make you to be like that?
Okay, okay. Maybe you first talk to her about the issue that you guys are facing, and then if she's not able to understand you, then talk to a friend. I'm sure you have that one person in your life that you trust or you tell your issues to. So you talk to him or her about it. And if you know that they will help you, not those friends that gossip and go out there and be like, Garang is going through this and that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I understood now.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, that is why we say you need to have a network. By the way, like you need to really have a very supportive network, especially so that when it comes to issues like this, you're able to talk to someone. When you run into several problems, you can actually lean on someone. That is the talking that Ross is meaning. Yes, Guy, you're welcome. I think Guy is a public health practitioner. Guy, you should add some comments, please.
It's not a comment. Anyway, I'm one kind of a person. I don't usually talk to people about my issues because I had my own experience that was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Whereby I confided myself in somebody, and okay, it was about a relationship. Let's be frank here. It was about a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. I had confided in my friend that was actually my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her about what I was going through, and on that he also knows about my relationship and the person I was dating. So me, I felt okay, this is my friend and his sister that I've known for years. I have that trust in her because we always share our issues. So I had a confide in her to talk about it. And what turned out was so weird at the end of the day because there was nothing. What I had discussed with her is what she took to my boyfriend to talk about, and it was even worsening. Not until at the last minute where we had to put a full stop to the whole thing. And I stayed like for about a year without having conversations with her or anybody. Only for the person that was now it's my ex, the boyfriend that I was dating that became my ex, had that initiative to come back to tell me what the problem was, and it was because of the person I had confided in. So I'm just imagining now, if you to go talk to somebody and the person backfired because you confided in that person and the person backfired. So mostly now what I do in most cases, I don't talk to people. If I'm going through my own mental issues and I want to handle it my own self without anybody knowing, I just freshen up, do some other things, then I'm with just my book, maybe read a novel book or even watch videos online on mental health or something to get my own experience until I'm able to understand myself about what is going on. So things to do with compiling in people has given me a mental disorder at some point. So me myself, I don't trust talking to anybody about my issues.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I think we might pick one or two things from there, and I will allow Ross to comment later on that. But then let's have Guy. I think, Guy, your hand has been up. Guy, you're welcome.
Thank you, Bida. My voice is also breaking. I don't know if it is mine alone or network. I don't know. It just keep breaking, but I think it's okay now.
We can hear you. We can hear you, Guy. Proceed.
Okay, thank you. So this issue of mental health is one of the best topic which can open our minds in different perspective because this mental health does not only end at only mental health. It's not absent. It's not absent. It's not only the absence of disorders, but also the pressure, the thing we experience every day in our life, your workplace, everything you do. Even MTN can stress you, and that one lead to big problems. But in this case, for this mental health topic, our session of today, it's combined many things. It combined many things. For example, when Mark recently revealed his experience of maybe going through some of these problems, there are only few people in South Sudan or even in the world who can open to people, telling them that this man I've been going through a lot, that I suffered a lot. Even you see now the rate of suicide in South Sudan has increased. It is a lack of communication. You don't communicate your thoughts, the problem, the mental pressure. All this thing overwhelm you, and the only thing a person can think about is ending their life. So they are the suicide. They have endured one of the worst. Because mental pressure is being ignored in South Sudan now. It's ignored, truly ignored. Yeah, even psychologists now are very few in South Sudan. You can't find them even in a clinic. You can't find them in a clinic. And you don't have anyone to talk to. Like Akira has just said, that even now trusting your friends, like for example now you're telling your problem, your biggest problem, biggest fears, you're telling to your friend. You are telling them that because you need an advice, you need some guidance, but they use that against you and they start spreading that. You see, people now fear even to open up now become a problem because you think that when I open up, this person is going to use this against me in some time in the future. For example, if you are not friends anymore, and this one also is one of the stigma which have also make people suffer with mental health. You see. So one of the solution is, for example, now in South Sudan, the government or even these NGOs or even these health, this mental health should be carried out because it's not a secret. It's not a secret. Mental health is one of the worst. One of the worst because it cannot be seen. It's not visible. That they say this person is not visible. It can smile, you can laugh the whole day, but at the end of the day, the mental health is catching you. It's catching you. You can hide behind the smile, behind laughter. But sometimes it catch everyone. It catch everyone. It catch everyone. Now, in this ranking, which they normally put us last, is because you cannot finish a day in South Sudan without feeling sad. When the happiness index always come out, we find ourselves at the last because you find problem. You cannot finish the whole day not thinking about any bad thing going on in your life. Never. It's not there. But the stigma is too much that even people now fear find even professional, they fear themselves talking about their problem, the mental pressure, even to their partners, to their friends, because of some stigmas. Mental health sensitization need to be done properly in South Sudan. And even public health institution. If the public health institute in South Sudan, this should be a 3 months for counseling, enable people and telling them that there are things you need to talk about. There are things you need to talk about. In other country, if telling someone now, telling someone that a patient that you are HIV positive, they tell them in a way that they don't make them feel like they are at the crossroad of life, that they don't have any life yet. You find them telling someone that one requires some skill and requires the understanding that it's not the end. It's not the end of everything. That brings us to these pressures which we have experienced every day in our life. But the good thing is, if we find a platform like this one where we discuss in detail